Good morning. I'm sitting here in Volcano National Park and I continue to work on my medical astrology degree. And this morning I was looking at dignities and disabilities, something which when I was taking my program we didn't cover. But this is what's truth about astrology is there's so many different angles. And where I started, I just want to say this because I'm finding medical astrology sort of has some parallels. I started out as a Vedic astrologer doing sidereal because I was so impressed with some of the predictions. And now what I'm starting to recognize is there's different types of charts in astrology that allows us to do different things. And so, amongst the astrologers, I think yesterday I watched a podcast that I found disturbing where one of the Vedic astrologers was talking about that, if you're doing that tropical Western stuff, you don't know what you're doing, kind of stuff. And, really, I don't care for any of that talk, not on the Western astrologer's part, nor on the Vedic astrologer's part. We all bring something here to the table and need to learn from each other. So I want to make that kind of a foundation of how I go about saying what I'm going to say here. But the truth is that each type of astrology, like as I started out doing psychological astrology and using Placidus in that sense in a formal education setting where I got my degree. And then now I'm doing whole sign where I'm doing an additional degree in medical. And what I'm seeing is that so far that each and every type of understanding has its place in the process of us learning and growing. And so I want maybe for people to just think of it a little differently than I believe in this or I believe in that. I would say look into why you would want to use astrology. And for instance, we all respect and acknowledge that whole sign is medical, right? And then we can respect and acknowledge that Placidus is Huber, the age points, the things that we're going to look at as astrologers, and we're going to say, oh, by the time you were 4 years old, you were having such a difficult time. And you might be wondering why it is we can see that. Well, these were established methods. And now there are other people in today's modern world that will say that they made these advancements in astrology. But in fact, all they're doing is digging up the bones of astrology and bringing back something old and not maybe out of a need to steal someone else's work, and I would hope not, but perhaps out of not really fully understanding how deep this work really is. In the 1600s, you used to need medical astrology, basic chart reading in order to get a medical degree. Because if you couldn't read a basic chart, it was believed that you would not be able to adequately diagnose, which I think that is still true today. One of the beautiful benefits of a medical astrologer, now I say this is for entertainment purposes only, don't want to upset anybody. I'm not trying to say I'm smarter than a doctor. I'm not. But what I am saying is that through medical astrology, often we can see where you are functioning with deficits that can lead us right into understanding where those deficits in your physical body might be impacting. In addition to that, there are not a lot of us, but there's a few medical astrologers that'll even go so far as to then go into looking at very specific treatment modalities through herbology. Yes, there are medical astrologers that are herbologists, and that is my goal. I am going to continue on after I finish this degree and get my next degree in herbology. Now, I want to say sun in the ninth house, it's not out of this world that I see myself as somebody who needs to continuously seek education. And, I could just be a serial student. And I've been in college pretty much my whole life in some way or another. So, some of us just really like to invest ourselves in study. And, and I've read probably more books than most people I know because I like to read. So this is today's morning. Hi, how are you? And not anything too profound. I am still up at Volcano National Park. I'm still camping. I'm still studying my medical astrology degree, and I'm about 40% done with the medical astrology part, and I've already started the herbology part, where one of the more interesting realities is if you find a plant, for instance, that looks like a body part, say for instance almonds, looks like kidneys, chances are that is going to be something that is very helpful to the kidneys. And so nature has a way of telling us the story. The question is, are you listening? Are you paying attention? Change your mind, change your life. Open your mind. Open up to what's out there. And with that, thank you so much for joining me here today. Please do hit the like, share, and subscribe. And join me in gaining a better understanding of who we are and how we need to go about helping ourselves as things unfold.